Welcome to Rewind the Podcast. Welcome back to Rewind the Podcast, where your favorite white girls talk about their favorite drinks, their favorite travels, and their favorite pop culture moments.
What the are you talking about?
I'm Xanthippe, and this is my girl Clarissa. And we're ready to give you vocal fry for the next hour and a half.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of white girls get put on FYPs, and I was thinking if we attract the white girls, then they can see how much fun we have over here, and then we can change their way of thinking.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Rewind the Podcast, where we don't know what the is going on.
Did you not like it?
No.
The way we already are, the bleep, 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 bleep already, we got to quit that cussing.
You got to quit all that cussing.
No, if you go back and watch these edits, you're usually the one who says first.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you know what that word is? Raven swears like a sailor on
No, I really
leash.
don't curse that much.
You really do. Did you see that last episode? Anybody comment below? Do you know how many times you said ass?
Well, I was making a point. It was for like dramatic.
Dramatics, yes.
Yeah.
Dramatic cussing. Okay. We've got a lot to talk about. Speaking of dramatics.
Okay. Have you ever, I have a question. Mm-hmm. Have you ever accidentally texted something in the group text or to the person you were talking about?
No, because I say things right to people's face. Just kidding, I totally have.
I was like, okay.
No, this was back when I was in college. I was talking to this girl, and she was talking to me about our mutual friend, and they were dating and like not going. And I snapped the photo, and I sent it to him. She's like, "Well, this is what she's saying about you." And she goes, "Why did you just send me that?" And I go, "Send you what?" And she was like, "Our conversation." And I was like, because I wanted you to see how dumb you look right now talking about this guy. Gaslit the out of her. And then she was like, right. And I was like, I'm a snake.
I have also accidentally been talking. I did it the other day when we were here, remember? We were putting our setup and I took a video and I was talking about my boss. And then I accidentally sent it to my boss. Good thing he's like cool, so it wasn't a big deal. But
it wasn't a weird video, by the way. It was just the studio.
It was just the studio. Yeah. But I was like showing. I think I was gonna send it to my mom, and I was like showing the new studio, and I was like talking in weird voices. What he knows me really well, so she was like,
"It's our new studio," and they look great.
And then I sent it to my boss, and I was like, I don't think I meant to do that. But he was like, your studio looks great.
I'll tell you what. Well, all that to say, we took that in America to the nth level. And one of Donald Trump's cabinet people,
I can tell you who it is. Give me a minute. Pete Hegseth disclosed secret war plans in a group chat. I don't know anybody know what Pete Hegseth's job is?
War? Is it war? Everybody say hi to producer Gabe.
Hi.
I looked at him like,
if you don't look this up, if you don't Google it. I think he's like the administrator of
you don't
wartime.
Know. You don't know.
I'm not. No, like that.
What's his last name?
Hegseth.
Hegseth. It's very Harry Potter.
He's the Secretary of Defense.
I kind of got it right.
He's the Secretary of Defense.
I said the head time of war or something like that.
That's not right.
The thesaurus.
So he's
Kangaroo
Secretary
Joey.
of Defense. Put this in a group chat. So the guy who broke the story works for The Atlantic, and his name is Jeffrey Goldberg.
Jeffrey Goldberg.
So,
not to be mixed up with the wizard Jeffrey Goldblum.
No one was going to mix them. So correct. But yeah, so he, I guess, was in this group text, and they were talking about like legit
bombing Yemen. Bombing the Yemen.
People.
Yemen,
to be exact.
No, that is very specific. Yemen, yeah.
And he was like, low-key, I don't think I'm supposed to know this.
He's like, I thought we were going to Chili's, fam. Like, triple dippers.
Talk about the storm that was Hillary Clinton in these emails.
These private server emails, and you're over here doing wartime texts.
It makes first of all, I don't trust these people to get my Chili's order right.
No.
Let alone.
I don't trust the DoorDash person to come up the door when I say, please deliver it to the door.
Oh, I hate that.
Where we're at the studio, I'll order food here while I'm editing, and I'll say, oh, the code is and come up, and I'm number and they'll be like, I'm here. And I'm like, and you're almost to the end.
You're not here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My thing is, why is this info so readily available for a group chat? Shouldn't it be behind firewalls and God knows what?
It should be on Hillary's emails.
in a closed room.
Literally.
Soundproof. They
In a
need
bunker.
They need to be in a padded room, but that's neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there.
The fact that these people already, we knew when he was picking his cabinet members and all his friends and pals.
He did the reverse Oprah.
Correct. That they didn't know what they were doing. But this is just even more solidifying. They don't know what they're doing. Shout out to the man who wrote this because we would have never known.
We would have never known. He could have kept that information to himself. And it's like, why would you?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I would have been like, this is what happened. And I mean, now I wonder if he's going to be on like the poop list. Yeah.
My thing is, we've all been there though. Like we've all said things in a group text and we were like, oh, I meant to send that outside the group. But I think when it comes to like, I would never like share somebody's diagnosis or something in the group text. No. Like you double check before you press send to make sure it's going to who you planned it to go to.
I had a friend and his boyfriend at the time was not our favorite. And we were in a group chat together. And the third one never really checked his phone, the one with the boyfriend. And the other one had said something because we were talking privately because the other one was like, I'm with my boyfriend. I hope this is easy to follow. But he had said something and he was like, LOL, not them saying they were going to break up and he's like getting on our nerves again or something. And he sent it to the group chat. And I, again, gaslighting, I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, wait.
That's crazy in this group text.
And I go, and then I went to say to the separate text between us, I go, delete it. And I accidentally sent it to the group text. And then the third one, the first time ever, comes in and he goes, he already saw it. And I was like, ah! And let me tell you what, the other one that had said that snide comment, he goes, I'm a bitch. I'm sorry. And that's just kind of how I feel. And he was like, noted.
But also,
and we're all still friends.
Not you. Are you really? Who is it? Shut up.
I one time, when I was a baby nurse, had all of these friends and went to a travel assignment. They never messaged me. Came back to go to dinner with, like, literally there was 8 of them. They were all Go to text my 2 best friends that I worked with. Texted in the group chat with the 8 people. Didn't just say they were horrible. Listed them by name. What each person did wrong. How they were
Not you going full burn book.
Because we could play by play. So I was like, well, she said this and this person said this. And then one by one, I'm Gabe, wrong chat. Guess we're not going to Nashville anymore. This. I was like, block.
Honestly, though, saved yourself a time because they were going to come here. Like, why would you want
That's true.
them
Like,
to?
why? Yeah, that's true.
I mean, sometimes you just got to... One time I was talking about somebody when I was on the newspaper, that me and this other queen were like going at each other and he was getting on my nerves and he turned around and I looked at my friend and I was like... And his friend saw me and she's like, if you have something to say, why don't you just say it to his face? And I just went, yeah, Ernesto, I have a problem with you. And I was like, sometimes you just got to be bold and just pop your chest out at that point.
Listen, I call Gabe once a week to tell him we aren't friends because... Well, this week in particular, I called our mutual friend first and told him why I wasn't Gabe's friend. And then he told Gabe, fake ass bitch. And then...
Fab.
And then they both FaceTimed me in a group.
And confronted you?
And confronted me.
Yes, I am.
And then Anthony was like, so I told Gabe
what
you said. Yeah, Anthony. And he was like, I told Gabe what you said. And I was like, yeah. And I meant it.
Oh my God. New t-shirt idea for Rewind. I'm fab, fake ass bitch.
No.
No?
Hate that idea.
Okay.
But yeah, Gabe and I are friends again.
I love that. I'm glad there's camaraderie and peace in the studio.
Do you even want to know why we weren't friends?
Sure.
You didn't. That's like a natural follow-up question.
No, can I be honest?
Yeah.
Y'all fight all the time. So it's like, what is it this week?
Why do you think we weren't friends?
Because you probably wanted to do something. He didn't want to do it. Or y'all were going to do something together and he canceled at the last minute to hang out with Anthony. And then this is what happened.
No, this is what happened.
I'm a snake.
He never, Gabe never asks me to hang out. I always ask you to hang out, like every day. I'm like obsessed with you. I'm like, let's hang out. Can I come over? Let's do that. I plan parties at your house.
That's true. Raven is we were getting off track today, but Raven is the queen of like, guys, I had the best idea. We should do like a spring equinox party. I think we should do like flowers. Like maybe we should have somebody come and like we can pet bunnies and then like a charcuterie board. And we're like, that sounds so fun. She's like, great, Gabe, it's gonna be at your house. Ellen, you're gonna bring drinks. Blake, show up on time, and Kelsey, you're gonna bring the food. And we're like, Oh.
Yeah. I'm good at like big picture vision.
Yeah.
But Gabe.
And bossing people around. Gabe.
What? Yeah. Back to Gabe. Never invites me to hang out. And so I called Anthony, even though I was sick, so it's probably for the best that I didn't hang out. I called Anthony to be like, what are you doing tonight? And he was like, oh, I'm hanging out with Gabe. And I was like, that's crazy. Because I haven't heard from Gabe.
And guess what I was planning to do? You were going to be my next call because we were going to get some lover boys.
Oh, yeah.
What's that? It's like Thailand, like lady boys?
No.
Oh.
You had to totally caught me off guard.
Sorry.
Get some lover boys and sit on the couch and gossip and chat and watch.
Summer House. Speaking of Summer House, I know we're going out of order, but this is a great segue. So I don't know if y'all watch Summer House. I recently started watching it. So Southern Charm and Summer House are both Bravo shows. Southern Charm had Craig on it. Summer House has Paige on it. They were together in a relation.
This I do know, because you told me.
Yeah. And then they broke up. And it's been like Drama City ever since. So Shep, who is on Southern Charm, was he on Watch What Happens, or was it like one of those like after show?
After show.
And he is talking mad shit about our girl Paige, about how she never came to any of our parties. She never wanted to travel with us.
Does he really talk like that?
Basically, keep in mind, then the part that really pissed me off. So she has the Giggly Squad. And Gabe and I are both gigglers. We love her and Hannah. And he was like, in her little stupid talk show. Keep in mind, they're
Giggly Pop or something
Giggly
like that?
Squad.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
Okay. Sorry, I listened to Rewind the podcast.
But he called it a stupid little talk show. Keep in mind, these girls are on a 60-city tour, sold out tour.
On a bus.
There is no bus. Everyone is obsessed with them. And he like really diminished their situation. And it pissed me off because Shep don't even got no damn job.
Out there doing Crest White Strip #ad on Instagram probably.
He comes from family money because they're from Charleston.
Southern Charm.
Yeah. Correct. And was like talking shit about her.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off. And this is another thing that pisses me off. And Gabe, I know you're going to want to speak to this.
I think I'm going to know what you're going to say.
Craig
Oh, no.
tries to pretend like he's the nice guy. Like, I don't talk about Paige. I don't say anything about her. But he lets his friends talk crazy about her in the press, tries to like make her look bad when the real tea is that he was jealous of her and tried to dim her light. And it pisses me off.
T.
Gabe?
First off, why would Paige want to go to Charleston where that whole cast is racist as
That part.
homophobic, like all of that And she's a busy girl. If I'm having 2 days in a city to see my boyfriend, I don't care about seeing all you know.
I don't want to see
No,
you.
we're closing the curtains in the hotel and we're having sex.
Also-
while Mario Lopez is in the back doing extra.
I think it's just one extra.
Oh, okay.
Also, she doesn't like y'all. How about that? How about she couldn't say to her boyfriend, your friends suck and I don't like them. I'm just so team Paige in like all things in life.
Yeah.
And I was so offended on her behalf. So offended. I don't like the minimizing of like a career they've built together that's like so successful. And she works so hard and she's like such a girl's girl.
Yeah.
And like it's showing like girls our age, like you can pick your career. That's fine, especially when you have a partner that doesn't support you. Like, it's okay to choose yourself. And for them to shit on her every second they get, it makes me want to fight them.
Exactly.
And she just did an after show for Summer House, and she was talking with Sarah and Amanda, and she was like, I realized that, like, with him, my career was always going to come first. And when she said that, people were shitting her, like, yeah, you never should have been with him. And she's like, this is why I didn't want to be with him, because I knew that I would put my career before him because it wasn't love.
And this is the craziest part. She also reveals that they're on a tour. She's having super bad anxiety, like so upset, calls her boyfriend for support. And he goes, you should watch this ABBA documentary about how tours like ruin families and ruins people's lives. And she was like, I just got put on a beta blocker, but thanks.
Yeah, for real. And you don't get to watch that documentary either because when we're getting out on tour, I'm going to make it get out there, sister.
No, it's like my dream of life to go on tour. Especially to do this on a tour would be so fun. But could you imagine how much I would want to strangle your boyfriend if he was trying to like take our bag?
I would want to strangle my boyfriend because what you're not going to do is come between me and my money.
That part. I thought you were going to say me and you, but I'm okay with the money too.
No, because the money would definitely become between me and you if it was going to you. Let's be real. So if Kev on stage called Raven tomorrow and said, I'll give you $10,000 a week to go and produce your own show, she would say, goodbye.
It's not true.
I think it's true. That's okay.
I don't.
I'm
loyal. I'm an Aries.
You're very loyal. That's true. And I'm a Leo and I'm also loyal, even though I like the attention. But I will say, we're just going all over the place today. I want to bring this up. If they did call you and they did offer you that, I would give you permission to go. And you don't need it. I know that full stop.
But that's such a good friend thing to do. And I feel the same. Yeah, I do. If you got an opportunity that like I couldn't come along for, I would totally be like, go, live. I would be sad.
Yeah.
But I would totally do that. Are you going to cry?
No, I'm not.
Why are you emotional? What the hell is going on?
What is happening in the studio today?
Room?
No, because, hold on. Okay, I'm not even trying to be fake, but no, I do think that's definitely a thing where it's like, this is so fun, and I love doing this with you.
Yeah, me too.
But if there was ever an opportunity, I would miss it so much. And I know we're celebrating our year and all that, but I would let you fly.
Me too. Also, though, I think on top of that, if I were to get some type of like really amazing opportunity, it would be a come up for both of us. Because it's like, if I get to go off and do this, like I'm coming back for you regardless. And hopefully you feel the same way about me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm just going to like go off and like never come back to this.
Yeah.
But I just like, if either one of us got the opportunity, it would be a great opportunity for both of us.
Yeah.
Even if it means we couldn't do this on this format the way that we're doing it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I don't want that to sound like a trauma dump, but I've had moments where people have gone on to the stars, not dead, but like, but like gone on to the stars, and I feel like, oh, like we're all going to come up together, and it didn't happen. So all of that to say, don't accidentally text the group chat war plans. We got way off there.
Speaking of going on to the stars and going on past into the glory.
That's true.
George Foreman went and got his robe.
He is making fat-free burgers up in the sky.
Went to the upper room.
He is making fat-free chicken for Paul, Peter, Mary, and Joseph.
All of them.
Is
and
Judas
Jesus.
there? And Jesus.
I think Jesus would like a fat-free, grease-free.
I don't know. People, Christians down here already make Jesus sound like a stick in the mud enough. He's probably like, you know what? Give me a little ribeye. I don't need the sirloin. You know what I'm saying? So but if it's cooked by George, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with a George Foreman grill at your house?
I did.
I thought that was a black people thing, but it's not like everybody had one.
No, we had one, and then we had the special one where you flip up the thing and you got the little bread warmer on top.
Y'all was rich.
I know. Well, no, we were in massive credit card debt, but that's a whole different episode. Stepdad, they got divorced. May he rest in peace. But yeah, he was in credit card. Yeah. Anyways,
okay.
So we had the bread warmer with the other, and it was great. We would make chicken.
There was nothing more satisfying than watching that grease fill up in that little grease holder.
And we really thought we were doing something.
We really did.
We really did. Now I will say it was not George, may you rest. But I don't also just think I didn't know how to cook. But I was like, this does not hit like when you're on a charcoal grill.
I don't know. Listen, Cassandra and Curtis, they did the thing this on the George.
I mean this in the most least racist way. You're black. So there was seasoning at your house.
Lowry's.
There was there was
there was seasoning at our house.
My mom, we had two settings on the oven, high and simmer. So we either burnt everything or it wasn't hot enough. So that's not what we're doing.
Did you ever stay up late at night and watch like the infomercials?
One.
Yes.
I wanted the NutriBullet so bad. I wanted, what was the cake thing that like you baked the cake and it had the divot and you could fill it with?
Yes, and you could like do ice cream.
Betty Crocker Bacon Fill.
Betty Crocker Bacon Fill. Also, Gabe's name on Grindr.
I've never heard of that one, but I do have a NutriBullet that I use daily.
Same. You know what I have in the cabinet over here? A Yo-Nanas.
What's that?
It's where you freeze the bananas and then you make it and it makes frozen yogurt. Should we do Yo-Nanas on Rewind Reacts? Comment below. Yeah, you can do like chocolate chip, strawberry. You don't want Yo-Nanas? Okay, you're weird.
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
But I love George Foreman. Gay didn't know the man was a boxer. He thought he just made grills.
Just got to claim to fame, just making grills, little household
It
grills.
is how he made all of his money, though.
It really is. Boxing,
And I think
it's
he
fleeting.
was 76, so that's still kind of young.
It really is. I think anything, to me, anything under 80.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. And then anything over 100, I think
It's time to go
I'm
on.
praying.
Yep, it's time to go on.
I'm like, is there something I still need to figure out? Like,
but rest
so,
in
yeah.
peace to George, and we're sending all of our love to everyone who loved him as well.
He's up there with Billy Mays, the OxyClean guy.
He died.
Yeah.
When Billy went on?
Like in the 2000s. I think he
I
it
didn't know
was-
he went on. Muhammad Ali up there too.
What did he do infomercials?
No, I just talked picking boxes who didn't went on.
Oh yeah. Michelle Trachtenberg. Okay, let's move on.
Okay. She wasn't a boxer, but okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. She was the ice princess.
She was.
She was the ice princess. Speaking of ice princess, I don't know what we're talking about next. Moving on along. Did you hear Lizzo's got some music?
I did hear.
Yes.
Tell me your thoughts.
Okay. Well, I like it. And I think they did kind of like they did with Jay-Z a couple weeks ago when that case got dropped about him essaying a potential, all that kind of stuff. Her case got dropped. There's a lot of that. I believe, if I'm correct, all of it was like null and void about the allegedly
Yes.
essay telling their
Yes.
dancers to lose weight, all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. So that was quietly dropped. And so she's releasing music now, and people are like, she does this, and she's like, does essay, and she's mean to her employees, and like, why would we support that fat bitch? And it's like, first of all, Lizzo is...
She looks good.
She looks so good.
Looks
I didn't have a
good.
problem with her at the first,
No,
so I
she
want that to be
she
very loud
always
and
looks
clear.
good, but she looks good today too.
But apparently, people are not receiving the new music well.
Is it because of the music or because of the drama surrounding her?
I think the music is good. Now,
I do too. I enjoyed it.
Can I give a small critique
Okay,
to
critique.
it? It's not really a critique. The two songs I heard, I was like, this feels like, and I mean this good and critique way, it feels like a Lizzo song. Like, life's been bad, I'm going to dance it away. It's not anything I have not heard before, but I still like it.
This is how I feel. And I never know when one is okay and one is not. So there are people who have a signature sound. And we praise them for it. And then there's people who have a signature sound and we don't praise them for it. And I can never tell which is which. Another example of that is Meghan Trainor.
Yes, everybody's like, every song sounds the same.
Yeah, but it's like, and I don't think every Lizzo song sounds the same.
I don't either.
But I think like, isn't it good to find your lane and to give the people what they want? And granted, you don't want like to not grow and not change and not evolve, right? But at the same time, I feel like she is evolving and the music shows that.
Yeah.
It does sound like Lizzo because it is Lizzo.
Yeah.
And there's only one.
There's only one Lizzo you can't replace. What is it? Somebody, I don't know the words. But I will say, because the first song she did, it was the one where it's kind of like thriller light kind of thing.
Fun.
I liked that one, and it had like a little Prince vibe to it. The second one was the one, it was like, I'm going out tonight, I'm going to dance, I'm going to drink, but I'm still bad kind of thing. I was like, I feel like I've heard this before, but I still like it. Like I said, my thing is like you said with Meghan Trainor, a lot of people are like, everything sounds the same. And to your argument, I do agree. It's like, okay, well, if she came out and she said suddenly she's going to do goth rap, like what?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Dua Lipa.
What do you mean?
Dua Lipa has, like, when it's a Dua Lipa song.
Oh, you better speak on it.
I feel like she doesn't get, like, as much shit about it because we're just like, oh, it's Dua Lipa.
Because she makes boat music. She makes vacation boat music.
Malta.
Don't say things to me like Malta.
Oh, okay. Iceland.
Depression. Ew.
Yeah. Okay.
Malta
In a
was
cult.
the best. Speaking of cults, good segue. We saw Opus.
We did. Opus.
Ciao. It was good.
It was good. Ayo. I don't know her. I don't know how to say
don't
it.
either.
Is it
We gonna say it.
DeBribery?
We gonna say it wrong.
DeBri?
Io, a debris.
Debris.
Ayo Debris.
Io.
Well, I don't know. I thought people called her Ayo.
Her name is Io, child, isn't it?
This baby.
We think her name Io.
I thought it was Ayo, but okay.
It's definitely
Ayo. Okay, my apologies.
She did her thing, Thizzle.
She did her thing. But Gabe, tell us, give the girls the synopsis.
So it's a writer travels to a compound of a prior pop icon who disappeared years ago, surrounded by his cult of sycophants. I don't know what that word means.
Sycophants.
Sycophants, as well as a group
Sycophants.
Say sycophants.
sycophants.
In memoriam.
Please keep that in.
Surrounded by his cult of sycophants, as well as a group of fellow journalists, she soon discovers his twisted plans for the gathering, and boy does she.
And boy, does she.
She was the only one.
O-T-T-T-T.
Io's character was the only one that was like, some don't feel right.
Everybody else was like, have a drink. Let's party. Ooh, look at this good food. Let me tell you. Okay, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert!
The nastiest part of this movie, there was death, there was body horror, there was things, but let me tell you, the nastiest part of this movie
was the bread.
The bread. It was communion gone wrong. Let me tell you that.
Y'all, they took a loaf of bread.
No, you got to paint the picture. Huge room like this, 2 tables, like 40
like
people at each table.
Dining room, like a nice dining room.
Camp Walden.
2 long tables, probably 20 people apiece. The first person take the bread, take a bite, pass it to the next person, who take a bite and pass it to the next person.
Zigzag like this down the table.
So by the time the bread get to 13, it's all kind of saliva. You can see the saliva. Y'all, I almost got up and left the movie theater.
I can't. There was people getting wigs ripped off, and you could see their scalp. That was still not as gross as the bread thing, because when it gets to Io, you could see it, and it's just like
so bad.
I can't do it.
I'm like that with wet bread anyway.
Yes.
I don't like when bread gets like wet. Woo.
Now, do you with au jus?
I do love an au jus. But
What's
that's different because it's like thick.
It's flavored water.
True. And it's like thicker. The consistency isn't spit.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really great movie. I thought from like a zoom out perspective, the obsession with celebrity being the like center and the focus as people who have a pop culture podcast. I think one thing that I always tell people when they're like, oh, you have a pop culture podcast. I'm like, yeah, we do. But we talk about celebrities as real people because they are real people.
That part.
We don't like idolize them, but we also don't shit on them because like.
Well, watch my earlier episodes talking about J-Lo.
But like, you know, we can critique the artist and the art without being like nasty because like that's somebody's baby.
That's somebody's child.
And so on the flip side of that, it's like we don't idolize them too because like we appreciate their art and all that. But people get so crazy about their favorite artists.
Now, I will ask, in this movie, he hosts a compound, this celebrity. He's got this cult following. Who do you liken that to in real life celebrity? Because I'll tell you where my mind went. Kanye West.
Oh, see, I don't think people follow him that much.
Oh, let me tell you, because I get to put our little clips up. Anytime we talk about Kanye, especially on YouTube, we get called everything but a child of God.
Really?
We do, because his little cult following. Because here's the thing on YouTube. I'm going to give y'all some tea if y'all don't watch on YouTube, but you should. Hello. You can be on YouTube, and there's not really a way to find you unless you're like, my @ is like @ Blake Rackley, @ Raven Dawson. So you can comment behind things. You never have to do a picture. So people get real
bold,
racist, xenophobic, transphobic, anti anything. And so when we post criticizing Kanye, his little cult followers
really
go up there. Yeah.
I was going to say Taylor.
Okay, makes sense.
I think she's one where, because I think in order to have a cult like that, you have to be above critique. And because even with like, say, a Beyonce, right? It's been proven that she is not above critique. People talk about her baby crazy. People talk about her crazy, her husband, all the things. I feel like Taylor's the only celebrity right now that you are not allowed to say anything negative about. So I think, she has the power and the influence to like pull off something like this. Good thing that she seems like a nice woman and would never do anything like
she's
this.
out there giving gift cards.
She seems like a nice woman who like wouldn't ever go there, but I think that she could.
Yeah, she's not like, let's shed this skin and ascend. Like,
yeah.
I will say, because there are fandoms that are a little
Intense.
Turntina. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great word. Like, people think like Swifties are bad, but
The
apparently
Barbs.
the Barbs apparently get into this. The Selena Gomezers.
The Selena Gomez
The
people.
Seleners. No. Selenators.
The
Shamalama-ding-dong.
Okay, so have y'all watched the documentary about her and Haley?
No.
It's like a 7-part TikTok documentary.
No. Is it either of them actually, or is it like? Oh,
and it's not even really a documentary. It's like a bunch of clips strung together to
making
like
somebody some TikTok money
to prove that like Haley's obsessed with her and like copies her all the time. But yeah, they love them some Selena Gomez,
Yeah.
and she seems like a very nice young woman.
We read about in Disney High. She was so down to earth.
Yeah, I just don't get it.
That's fair.
Which is like I would have a drink. Like I feel like she'd be the perfect friend to like go to a wine night and like giggle and goss.
Yeah.
But I don't get the like obsessed.
Like, I'm going to fight you and call into your work if you say something I don't like.
I will say too, another person that I think people would follow to the pits of hell is Harry Styles.
Really?
100%.
Now,
women in
unpack
particular.
that. Okay, I was going to say unpack that because that is, I knew One Direction.
No,
I might have been one of those people.
I'm one of those people. I love him. And I ain't following nobody into the gates of hell because I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Spirit. Hallelujah.
Hey.
But the like obsession.
Yeah.
They love him. And I think if he was like, come live on my compound and follow me, people would be like, okay.
I will say my two favorite drag queens, Trixie and Katya, they watched a series about cults and they reacted to it. And there was one where I think it was like Jim Jones. He would do his like evangelical tour and he would be like, get back on the bus, come back to California with us. And Trixie leaned over and she goes, if we told some of our fans, hop on the bus and come back, the way they would. That is so wild to me.
Crazy.
Do you think we have anybody in the rewind world who would follow us back?
I think everybody got good sense over here.
Yeah, we have trained you well.
They're like, love Raven Blake now.
Yeah, we like,
but
we
ain't
love
getting
you.
on nobody bus.
We love you. Don't comment too hard.
No, there's definitely like celebs that like I would want to spend time with.
There's no way that either of us would get on a bus in a desert and drive out in the middle of nowhere, let alone eat nasty bread, let alone the moment someone started coming out in high heels singing.
No, the part that that would have left me, which they really would have lost me, was when that lady came in there to shave her chi-chi.
Yes! And she said, everybody does it. Everybody from Congress members to rock stars. And then she goes down there and shaves her puss.
My thing is, my red flag would be like, who gonna see it, boo? What we doing to where you gonna see my cootie cat?
Because let's be real, there was never a scene involving that.
No, why? My cootie cat gotta be bald.
It was wild.
Because that's what cults do. They like see how far they can push it. And that's when I would have been like, hell, forget my bag.
Yeah.
The moment we turned down that dusty ass road, went into a locked gate, saw people all in the same outfit, and they took my phones.
That would have been my biggest one. I don't want to sound like I'm attached to my phone like that, but if somebody says, turn in your phone for the weekend, because we already saw Blink twice.
Yeah.
And we already saw that other one where they said turn in your phones. And I'm saying if that's happening in a secular environment, because when I went to church camp, they said turn in your phones.
I was about to say that.
But that was also, we've talked about this too. Do you think that's healthy?
No, I went to a church camp that I absolutely loved. And I, to this day, have very fond memories of.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's happening anymore. But as an adult, looking back at some of the things that we did, I'm like, that is
A little culty.
It's a little culty.
I don't think anything that the church camp I grew up going to felt culty. I will say there was more of a, we're going to take your phones because we want you to focus on the task at hand.
But that's what they all say.
That's true. And that was my counterpoint is there was one time I went to a camp with like a different church camp, and it was one of the most special times in my life. And I had my phone the whole week. And there was enough still going on that I was like, I really don't want this phone.
Exactly.
Instead of I have it and now all you have to focus on is what we're doing. And then you kind of give into like the moment of it, you know.
Yeah.
I loved church camp growing up, but there's like all this discourse around it right now. And maybe it was a little opusy. I don't know.
It was a little opusy. Another big thing I really was confused by, respectfully, the songs weren't that good.
You know what's funny is the songs were, there were enough that I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
but I'm gay. And anything with a beat and a
That's
four on the
true.
floor, we're like, where's the coke? You know,
Yeah.
I don't do cocaine. yet. So,
But yeah, that was another one where I was like, y'all doing all this over this though?
yeah,
I don't know. But it was good. I would definitely go and see it. We're not going to, there is a big twist at the end.
that rocked me.
It was such a good twist. So you should go and see it in your local theater.
Let me tell you what you can be 50-50 on seeing. And that's Snow White.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Me and Gabe, not together, but we went and saw Snow White. And, you know, that movie has been...
I saw that shade. He don't invite you to do nothing either.
Oh. Waiting on a Wish. No. Okay, so Waiting on a Wish. So this movie has been marred in controversy since it was filming in like 2021. It stars Rachel Zegler, Gal Gadot. You know the story of Snow White. Gabe, you don't need to read the synopsis. But from the beginning, because they were like, Snow White doesn't need a man. They took out like Someday My Prince Will Come and like some big songs like that. It was just like, people were like, we're not going to go watch it because it's woke.
Oh.
And then fast forward, I'm getting ready to see it, and some people are like, we're not going to go watch it because we don't support Gal Gadot. And I'm like, well, I know she can't act, but I think that'll be part of the fun of it.
Because she's a Zionist.
Apparently she's a Zionist. She was in the IDF, and I was like,
Is IDF?
Israeli Defense Force, I think.
Oh, she was in the military?
Yeah, I think when you grow up there, you have to do it 2 years.
So she didn't have a choice.
But I think she's still vocal about it now.
Oh, okay.
Which is weird because she's not vocal about any good acting. But anyway, it's not neither here nor there. I'm sorry. She was like, take the apple.
That's why everyone says that it was terrible.
Like, there is not everybody's going to tell the same lie, like you say. And I was like, I get maybe why you don't boycott it, but I already bought my ticket. So I went. Me and my friend, we went to the last showing of the night. Only people in the theater. And that is rare that happens. Apparently, Gabe and Anthony were the only people in their theater.
Oh, so ain't nobody seeing this movie.
It was okay. Rachel Zegler turned it out. She's great. She was in Story of the Songbird and the Hunger. Yeah. And then she was Maria in West Side Story. And now she's going to be Evita. She's booking the roles. Yeah,
she's booked.
She's booked and busy. And then she was Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, you better do your thing. Ass Bob. Let's start there. The costumes looked cheap.
Oh, no.
They really did. Gal Gadot in like the iconic, like the evil queen thing. It literally looked like somebody was doing like First Night of Drag.
And that sucks because that's part of the whole thing. It's like you go for that.
Well, I mean, like Little Mermaid. What's the other one? Like Beauty and the Beast. I know people have things to say about Emma Watson's vocals, but there was just like more style to the dress, and it was and all this
And in a post-Wicked world, the expectations are high.
Very high.
And you can't just like throw something together and put it out.
And what's weird is, you know, they took out And the Seven Dwarves. It's just Snow White now, but they're still a part of the story. But they're all like
AI.
CGI'd. Yeah, CGI, very computer generated. But there's also a little person in the cast. So it was like, why did we not hire
more little people?
Yeah, and I don't know if that was like, I don't know. But then Dopey, you know, in the original, he's just so cute. He's just Dopey. In this movie, he's got a line. He like comes to a realization. He finds his voice.
Good for him.
I was like, I was like, we're not doing the Dopey Diaries. Like, what are we doing? Like, it was just like, and like,
not the Dopey Diaries.
If we're keeping it, as you would say, a buck, not a lot
I don't
goes.
say it like that. Just to be clear, but go ahead.
There's not a lot that happens in Snow White.
Yeah.
Like, she kind of around in the forest, and then the prince saves her, and then she dies like for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was like half the movie, and then the other half was like rising an army. But when they go to confront the queen, there's not like a fight or anything. She's just like, you were a baker, and you were spoiler alert, you were a fisherman, and we all lived together and shared. And I was like, what? And then the queen like dies.
So I should not go and see this.
I don't think you should go see it. If you do, take a fat edible or like a THC drink. Otherwise, I don't recommend. I don't even think I'd recommend Disney Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It truly gave, like, they filmed it for Disney Plus. The lighting, there was so many, I'm like, this is a soundstage. Also, the moment Gal Gadot opened her mouth to sing, why they gave that woman
2 songs, horrible. Also,
my God.
to Gabe's credit, like if there was a scene with all of them, it literally looked like if somebody was filming in this room, they filmed all my lines on a green screen, all of Gabe's on a green screen, all of yours on a green screen, and they put us all like it just looked fake. And like you said, in the world of Wicked, where we're building these huge things and somehow saving money from not doing computer generated stuff or Agatha all along, it's just like, let's bring that back. Bring back movies.
Wow. Okay, so I won't be seeing that.
You won't be seeing that. Is there
one.
anything else we should see?
Yeah, we need to see Bob Trevino likes it.
Yes. Okay.
We're going
that's
to talk about
limited.
that next week.
We are going to talk about that next week. I'm excited to see that one because I saw the title and I was like, that looks weird. The movie looks fierce.
It looks so good. I'm
so
excited to watch that one.
So we'll talk about that next week. Moving on along, I do want to talk to you about, I'm still so pissed off. No, because if you're going to talk about Southern Charm, I'm going to talk about this. White Lotus, girl, it is getting good. It is heating up. The brothers are, spoiler alert, the ladies are talking about each other, and then the guy has the gun.
Oh.
That is so out of
there's a
context.
gun?
There's a gun. What you know about Lisa? She's in it.
Oh, I was going to change the subject.
Oh, of course you were. No, let me talk about this a little longer.
Okay.
They're in Thailand. Mike White, he wrote it. Jennifer Coolidge is not in this week. But the people who are watching it are loving it. And it is very almost annoying that I know you would like this. I will say this.
I can't take on that.
I don't like to watch White Lotus alone. I always go over to our friend of the pod, Esai's house, and we watch it together, and we openly comment on it because it is a truly wacky show. Did you not see all that thing on Twitter about the guy saying he wanted to be an Asian girl that gets himself instead of Asian girls?
No, I don't. This doesn't sound like it's for me, respectfully.
I like it. I think you would like it, but you have to be in the right headspace. You have to be in the right mood.
Do you know what we have to watch?
What?
Have to. I think it's on FX. It's called Dying for Sex.
You have talked about this. Is that podcast lady who?
Yes. So Miss Kev on stage. We all know I'm obsessed with her.
Hey, girl.
She had everybody she was like, you have to listen to this podcast. And it's about a young woman who is terminally ill and goes to her therapist and realizes she hasn't had a sexual awakening and wants to experience all these things before her time is up. Mm-hmm. And so she goes on this sexcapades and has all of these great experiences, and they invite the guys on the show, and as the podcast goes on, you can hear her voice declining, you can hear her getting sicker. And then she does, spoiler alert, she eventually passes away, which I think you hear that in the first.
Yeah, may she rest.
Yeah. And so her best friend that she's doing this with, makes it into a podcast and puts it out. And I was in the car crying actual tears. So beautifully done. And they've turned it into a television show.
With Michelle Williams.
The white Michelle Williams. Yes, with the white Michelle Williams being the lead character. And the trailer is out. It looks so good. So that is one where I'm we have to watch it. I think it's right up all of our alley, and it's going to be really good.
So that's our new show.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Should we react to the trailer? Did you already sailed that ship?
I already saw the trailer 3 times.
Okay.
So my reaction will be ooh, that's crazy.
That what? Starring who? Yeah,
and I sent it to Miss Kev on stage because we're friends on. She's my friend in my head.
There you go. I was going to say parasocial.
I better say we do DM sometimes.
Okay.
And I'm obsessed with her. And she was like, oh my gosh, I saw it. And I was like, we're friends.
Aww.
I know.
You should be you should listen to Rewind.
No,
podcast,
I would never
we
do
listen
that.
to Here's the Thing every week.
Well, she's not. She does gin and juice.
She does. No, I know, but okay, I know. Support women.
Yeah. With her sister.
I don't want to say that so throwaway casual. Sorry.
But she does it with her sister.
Yes.
And this I'm not a lawyer, but
I got gin and juice confused with Poor Minds. And I was looking up clips, and I was I literally texted Raven. I was like, where are the clips talking about them eating ass and titty milk and stuff like that? She was like, that is Poor Minds, you dumb ass.
Gosh, I love Drea Nicole and Lex P. I'm a huge Poor Minds girly.
Yes.
Completely different podcast.
Night and day. Night and day.
Different. They're single girls out
Yes.
here getting it. And Miss Kev on stage and Melissa and Melanie are wives and mothers and talk about pop culture and TV shows they watch. It's funny.
And
it's
then
cute.
the other girls are getting bent over doing titty milk. Who is? What was that podcast with the two English Shits and Gigs?
Yeah.
Which one were they on? And they said there's no baddies in Atlanta.
Poor Minds.
Poor Minds. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where have they been?
Speaking of, have they been on your For You page? Because they sure as hell ain't been on mine.
They ain't been on mine. Let me tell you what has. Okay, maybe this could be a new segment. What is on your For You page?
Right now.
This last week, yeah.
It's a lot of Sister Wives clips.
Okay.
I love Sister Wives. If you're a Sister Wives fan, comment below.
If you're a sister wife, comment below.
Yeah, that too. So like their marriages have completely fallen apart. He's now monogamous with Robin.
Oh, you're talking about the show.
The
Okay.
show. And
Yeah.
so that's a lot on my For You page right now. And then the other thing, one constant for me is chiropractor videos, but that has transitioned into dry needling videos.
What is dry needling?
Where like if you have a muscle that's like really tight, they take a little needle and like go directly into the muscle and you like watch it spasm and relax.
Oh, so like your lymph node that's hurting right now.
I would never put a dry needle in my lymph node,
Oh, okay.
but like in your like shoulders and stuff. So that's where I'm at.
That's okay. We have very different For You pages.
And the show with I be watching full on shows.
In part 1, part 2, part
Yes!
3, and then they split the screen, and down there they're doing Subway Surfer or making bread.
Law and Order SVU heavy. I be like, ooh.
You're
and
like,
then I
wait.
be pissed off because then they won't show every part.
Yeah, they'll be like part 1 is 6, and after part 3 they go to a new show.
And I'm like, bitch, what happened?
I'm like, what happened? They're like,
I've
it's
never
all-
watched Law and Order SVU on TV.
No.
I've only watched it in parts on TikTok.
And then when you can't figure it out, you finally go through the comments and someone's like, she was found for murder, but she didn't actually kill the child that they were convicting her for. And you're like,
Those people are God's favorite.
literally.
Love y'all.
On people on Instagram, they always clickbait people like the magazine. And may God bless you with green lights only. People are like, here's what the article's about.
I'm
like,
love those people. I wish I had the time to be that person, but I'm not that committed.
also, if an article's behind a paywall, whoever does pay for it and tells us,
You the real MVP.
for real, may you never get food poisoning.
Yeah. Okay, what's on yours?
Okay, my For You page right now, have you seen all these Nikki Blonsky videos?
Yes, Blake. What happened to her teeth?
I don't know. She didn't tell me.
Crack.
Crack?
Do you really think-
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Why do you think crack?
Have you seen her teeth?
Okay, well, I will say this. People think it's kind of like Prince William. She was ugly to black people, and so God snatched those little
Wait,
molars
what
away.
happened with that?
So allegedly, but also there's apparently like video footage. Maybe I don't know. Allegedly, but Bianca from America's Next Top Model season 9, her family was at the airport. Nikki Blonsky's family was at the airport. There was an altercation, and there was like a full-on fight. And apparently, something happened. From what I
Not
remember,
Tracy Turnblad over there fighting people.
Tracy Turnblad, Tracy turned bad. Let me tell you right now. And apparently, one of the black people fell, and apparently, like Nikki Blonsky or her mom, like just kind of like, and like it was all, and people were like, she's being ugly to black people. That's why God snatched those teeth in that acting career.
She look. Oh, I'm not gonna say that.
She looked rough.
Okay, Gabe will say it. I will say this. So apparently, she was on Cameo. She's
Right.
doing $20 a pop.
And now she done bumped it up, baby.
She bumped it up to 100 because she's getting so many requests. But I bought one a couple years ago. This is before I knew she was racist. But I got it from my friend Kaylee, and she did the "Welcome to the 60s," and she always growls, and people are like, "Where's the growl from?" And someone commented on mine because it got like 100,000 views. Someone said, "Mind you, she kissed Zac Efron in his prime,
On the lips. Multiple times.
multiple takes, and then on the press tour."
I would love to kiss Zac Efron on the lips.
I know. I would love to kiss Dylan Elfront on the lips, so we can
Okay.
have one, I can have the other.
Yeah.
But all that to say, that's been on my For You page. And then the second thing that's been on my For You page, and this is getting on my nerves, the, what's the word? What is it called, like when all the English people came over to like India and like took everything over? The colonization of the word child. That's like, and I'm just going to speak on it real quick.
Speak on it, Black Queen.
Yeah. I've said many times on this podcast how gay men clearly steal from black women.
Child.
I don't want to be one. We've talked about it in a viral clip. We're not going to address it now. But this new thing of like, imagine clocking a gag here, child. And like that's on Twitter or X and like and TikTok now. And I'm like, when it starts to infiltrate you're like the white girls who go to a gay club and they're like, I feel safe, get out of my way. You know, that's where I'm like, this is not for you. And you will not give people who say things like this in their normal vocabulary,
Right.
jobs, houses, tickets, the time of day. Mm-hmm. But now it's like fun to say this word. And then when somebody tries to call you on it, I just don't like it. But that's been on my For You page.
But Gen Z culture is Black culture reheated and stale.
Reheated nachos.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that because I'm so sick of the nachos.
That's
reheated.
also too, yeah.
But like, I just also, there was one little girl who didn't understand that chow was like chow. She thought it was like Chile, like the country.
Was it the Olivia Rodrigo thing?
I think so.
She was like, Olivia Rodrigo performs at Lollapalooza, Chile. And so she was like, not the AAVE.
But yeah, we can't have nothing.
No, and I'm just like,
We can't have nothing.
listen, our audience is predominantly Black women. Hello, hi. And the rest of you. And, but I'm sorry, as much as I surround myself with Black people, Black Twitter, I would hope not. Have you ever heard me be like, ooh, I'm going to clock that tea, child. You better gag on it, sis.
Yes, we have.
No, you have not.
No, you've never said those exact words.
I will say tea and work, and I will own up to
You say
that.
tea, work, and slay a lot.
I say slay a lot, yes. And I own those.
Those are and they're yours to own.
I don't own like that. I own that I say it, and I did not come up with that, and that was not something I heard at the gay club. We all know where it came from. But that is one thing I have heard, the tea and the clock. The other thing I've heard, and similar to that, is there was this video of this girl, and she was like, this white girl, and she was like, oh my God. He was like giving me back shots, and my face was going up against his Pulp Fiction poster, and his sweat was dripping down. Oh, hang on, I'm getting a call. And it was like the difference between your work life and your personal, and she was like, hello, this is Megan. Yes, could you send over that EOD by the end of day? And somebody commented in there, and they said, LOL, the code switching is so real. And somebody said, that's not code switching. Code switching is really...
Code switching is what I do at work.
Do you care to share with the people?
No, Bible, I don't code switch at work at all. And...
It's a fun work environment.
But my thing is like, I'm definitely more professional when I'm talking to like patients or clients or like, whatever. But if we just in the office kicking it, like I'm going to talk how I normally talk. Well, it's also a little bit easier because I'm in charge of a lot of things. And so I just feel like...
Were you being a little bit racist? Do you want that raise?
No, but it's just like, but I've always been that way. Like, I just feel like you should show up as yourself and people can like it or not. And it's never been an issue for me.
A Black man commented under the comments, and he was like, code switching is like essentially rooted almost in trauma.
No,
like
it is.
Protecting yourself.
100%.
Do you think, okay, like obviously I know people of color, BIPOC, all the non-binaries, that kind of stuff, they have to do it. Do you think gay people code switch, or do you think it's mirroring? Like, what do you... Because like one time I was in the grocery store and like there was a bunch of straight people walking around and we like went up to something and I was with my friend and I was like, hey, do you know where I can find like the blah, blah, blah? And I went into it so easy and my friend was like, not you coats. And I was like, I don't know if that's what that is, but I was like, there was definitely an element of like, they will.
Yeah, I think that counts, I guess. I don't know. If you a person who do sociology and blackness, please comment below.
Yes. And
is code switching just a Black people thing? Like
the BIPOC.
Black Indigenous people of color thing, or is it everybody? I don't know.
I was genuinely curious, but that's what's been on my For You page on top of like the last thing, and I know we got to go. The guy who gets up at 3:53 in the morning. No, nobody knows. Okay, another week. That is like taking over.
No, I've never heard of that.
He gets up at 3, and in like every 4 minutes, he was doing something different, and people are like, "This is the fakest thing I've ever seen."
Wait, the guy who put his face in ice?
Yes. And he was like, he did it like 3 times.
Like, nigga, you ain't really getting up and doing all that. Quit.
Face in ice in a full business suit.
And then I shouldn't say that. I'll say it off camera.
Wait, what?
He was giving LGBTQ plus IA, but then a lady with nails brought him his food.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, who is that?
Yeah, no, he was. And, hey, man, I think we can get that to 10,000. I was like,
that's funny. I have come across that.
Okay, sounds good. Gabe, do you have anything on your For You page?
Yes. I have people eating frozen wax candy that I want. Have you not seen those?
No.
You would love the ASMR.
I love an ASMR.
Oh, you would.
It's like these frozen... they have different shapes of like wax, and inside they fill it with jam and they put it in the freezer so it gets hard and they like crunch it. It's great.
It just sounds like it would hurt my teeth.
I used to watch people eat ice, but go ahead.
No, it's kind of like that. Gabby videos, and then out of the group, I am a big conspiracy theorist. I love the woo-woo stuff. So I've been looking a lot into the aliens and the pyramids.
I saw somebody running up the pyramid.
Is it an alien?
It was a regular person.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No, you can get in trouble.
But basically, so I don't know what pyramid it was. It's in Egypt. But researchers, and it's not like released in, what's it called when they publish?
Publishings.
Yeah. But they did like a kind of like a sonography, ultrasound, whatever, of underneath the ground. And under these pyramids, they found like literally street wide, these huge columns that are like 10 times the height of Statue of Liberty that go all the way down. And it has like a pathway on the outside of these columns, and they all go down to these big, like huge, like city blocks worth of these bases. And there's like water running down there. And so they don't know, like, my thing is, to begin with, and we can make it short, there is no way all of these people built these pyramids back then.
I don't know. They had a lot of time on their hands. There was no TikTok.
But the science of it is what's confusing. Like, but then again, I think we underestimate how resourceful people were in those times.
Because you had to be. You had to make fire to be alive.
That's true.
And now we can DoorDash something. I did delete DoorDash, but yeah, you can just DoorDash something to the house.
I could never.
Oh, I did. I felt it was there is power.
Yeah. Break every chain.
You break every chain.
Conspiracy corner over here with Gabe. I think that's aliens.
I love that.
Maybe it's BlackRock. I don't know.
With that being said, take us out, Blake.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Rewind the Podcast. If you want to listen to other episodes of Rewind the Podcast, you can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you like podcasts. I'm not here to tell you what you like, but hey, guess what? If you want to watch the podcast and see our beautiful faces, you can watch on the YouTubes. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and sign up for alerts because we've got some fun stuff that you don't get on the podcast. With all that being said, Raven.
Like Blake was saying, if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us 5 stars and leave a review.
I love it.
You can find me on all social media platforms at I Am Raven Dawson.
And I am chronically online. You can find me anywhere. There's a social media site at Blake Rackley. And before we go, did you know Gabe started his own business called Hey Batch?
Hey Batch.
If you are coming to the Nashville area and you want to have a party, but you don't really want to do the logistics, call this one right here. Gabe?
HeyBatchNash.com. HeyBatchNash on Instagram and TikTok. Use code REWIND and you get 10% off your first event. Bachelorettes, I got you.
And with all that being said, we'll see you
next week. Toodles.
Opus, you want some bread?
No.
Thanks for listening to Rewind the Podcast.
Rewind the Podcast is a Laurel Street production hosted by Raven Dawson and Blake Rackley.
Rewind the Podcast is recorded in Nashville, Tennessee and produced by Gabe Bryant.
Our theme song is Famous Nobodies, performed by Rackley.
Written by Blake Rackley and Matt Pingle and produced by David Spencer.
To contact Rewind the Podcast about sponsorship, business inquiries, or just to say hey, please email at thatrewindpodcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.